thunder of hooves, a dark ripple beneath brown water. Then, impact. Welcome to the Serengeti Mara, where every step is a wager and predators right the margins of life. This is Ultimate Predators, when predator attack. Across these plains, nearly 2 million wildebeest surge on a journey of almost 3,000 kilometers. They do not just chase rain, they drag the entire savanna's future behind them. 250,000 will not make it, but their sacrifice turns dust back into grass. Even death is recycled here. From cracked grasslands to the Mara River's crocodile gauntlet, from acacia shade to alkaline lakes so caustic they can reach pH 10.5, this land is a mosaic of extremes. In waters too harsh for fish, microalgae bloom, and lesser flamingos gather by the millions, painting the horizon pink, while raptors scan for a moment's weakness. Lions hold court on golden ridges, cheetahs sprint like living lightning, hyenas test the night. Leopards vanish into leaf and shadow. Crocodiles wait where courage meets current. Tell us in the comments where you are watching from and which hunter you think rules this realm. Sharpen your senses. Our first encounter waits at the river's edge, where patience has scales and the current chooses sides. The hunt ends, the undertaker lands. When predators attack and the dust settles, a shadow in a black cloak glides in to claim what is left. Meet the marabou stork, Leptoptelos crumenifer, the undertaker bird of East Africa's great savannas, from the Serengeti to the Mara. Bald-headed, broad-winged, and unflinching, it is built to work the aftermath of a kill. Draped in a charcoal mantle over white underparts, the marabou looks like it dressed for a solemn job. And it did. Standing up to 1.5 meters tall with a colossal 3.7-meter wingspan, it rides thermals with barely a wing beat, soaring as high as 4,500 meters to scan the plains for carcasses and leftovers. The head and neck are completely bald, the skin pale pink and mottled, nature's wipe-clean surface for reaching into deep, messy cavities without fouling feathers. A large, wedge-shaped bill is less about ripping hide and more about precision, probing crevices, scooping soft tissues, extracting every scrap. Long, stilt-like legs keep the body clear of gore and hot ground, while an inflatable throat sac aids display and heat management. When temperatures climb, that chalky whitewash on the legs is no accident. Urohydrosis wicks heat away like a built-in cooling system. Add enormous high-aspect wings for energy-saving patrols, and you get a scavenger engineered to show up exactly when the savanna needs cleanup most. When the wild dog pack has had its fill, black-cloaked figures spiral down as if attending a vigil. That is the marabou stork's cue. They bide their time just beyond a lion's glare or a hyena's laugh, then stride in with measured, almost clerical calm. The big, wedge-shaped bill probes, not tears, sliding into crevices for marrow, organs, and the soft leftovers that hooked beaks miss. Daily rhythm runs on thermals and opportunity. Mornings begin at communal roosts in tall trees. By late morning, the sun's lift turns them into effortless gliders, soaring thousands of meters with barely a wing beat, scanning the savanna for fresh kills, wildfire fronts, or even the honest chaos of a cattle abattoir. They will switch tactics on a whim, wading shallows for fish and frogs, stalking termite swarms after rain, raiding refuse when the plains are quiet. Heat is handled the stork way, legs whitewashed to wick warmth, throat sac pulsing, wings half spread like a dark umbrella. Evening brings a final circuit over the grasslands, then back to the roost, bellies full of the day's aftermath. Marabous live big, big wings, big bills, and big communities. They roost and breed in noisy colonies, sometimes hundreds strong, each pair claiming a bulky stick platform wedged high in a thorn tree. Courtship is understated theater, bill-clattering duets, bows, and that inflatable throat sac swelling during low, booming displays. Pairs are seasonally monogamous. Both parents haul sticks, both incubate, and both feed downy chicks by regurgitation, Shah. What if the most lethal move is not a pounce, but a marathon? When predators attack in perfect sync, stamina turns into a weapon. Meet the African wild dog, Lycaon pictus, the painted wolf of sub-Saharan savannas and scrub. According to 2024 Wildlife Conservation Society data, their hunts succeed an astonishing 70 to 90% of the time, making them some of the most effective predators on the planet. Nature did not give them camouflage. It gave them art that works. Each wild dog wears a one-of-a-kind mosaic of black, white, gold, and chocolate patches. Living brushstrokes that break up the body in dappled light and shrub, turning a running pack into flickers and fragments that confuse the eye. Large rounded ears stand like twin radar dishes and swivel independently, triangulating the faintest rustle from hundreds of meters away, while also dumping excess heat, built-in radiators for endurance chases. The frame is all economy, a rangy body, deep chest, and long, springy legs. Unlike most canids, they have only 4 toes on each forefoot and no dew claw, reducing drag and wasted motion. Every stride is clean, every contact efficient. Tough, padded feet grip hot ground, and a white-tipped tail acts as a visual flag so pack mates can track each other at speed through tall grass. powerful jaws and scissor-sharp carnassials finish the job quickly, but the real edge is the engine inside. Heart and lungs tuned for distance, turning a steady trot into an inevitable catch. Cool dawn is go time. A chorus of high-pitched twitters and a few emphatic sneezes rally the pack. An audible vote to start the hunt. They drop into a ground-eating trot, about 10 kilometers per hour, ears swiveling like twin satellites to catch the faintest hoof scrape far ahead. Those long, four-toed forefeet with no dew claw waste no motion. Stride after stride, they bank energy for the moment that matters. A splinter team tests a herd, looking for the one that stumbles. A distracted yearling, a limping adult. Once a target is chosen, the pressure never lets up. Dogs trade places in a rolling relay, some flanking, one cutting across the front, another pressuring from behind. When the prey falters even for a heartbeat, the pace snaps from steady to blistering, bursts up to 60 to 70 kilometers per hour, and the noose tightens. White tail tips keep everyone visible through grass, and wing-like ears dump heat as the chase stretches on. The finish is swift. They eat fast, knowing lions and hyenas may come to steal. By midday, they rest in shade, groom, nap, then patrol again in the cool, covering tens of kilometers in a day when the pack's larder needs refilling. Painted wolves are cooperative to the core. Most packs center on an alpha pair that does the breeding, but the entire family raises the pups. During denning, a few adults stay as babysitters while the rest hunt. Everyone returns to deliver meals by gentle regurgitation, first to pups, then to nursing mothers, then to other helpers. Their greetings are pure joy, squeaks, tail whirls, muzzle kisses, and bouncing play that recharges social glue. Decisions are democratic. Those famous sneezes can tip the quorum to begin a hunt. Hierarchy is real but mild, far less bullying than in many carnivores, because survival depends on teamwork. Bonds run so deep that injured dogs often recover because pack mates feed and protect them. As pups grow, same-sex siblings disperse together to find mates in neighboring territories, keeping gene pools healthy while forging new alliances. Rivals are not other pack members, but kleptoparasites. When hyenas or lions arrive, wild dogs yield the carcass alive and well, ready to hunt again. In this family, sharing is not kindness, it is strategy, and it is why their success rate can reach the astonishing heights documented in recent studies. Painted wolves are the savannah's quality control team. By targeting medium antelopes and focusing pressure on the weak, injured, or distracted, they sharpen herd health and prevent overgrazing. Benefits that ripple through grasslands, shrubs, and the many species that depend on them. What they do not eat becomes fuel for vultures, jackals, and beetles, returning nutrients to the soil. Their adaptations make this efficiency possible. Mosaic coats that melt into dappled bush, long muscular legs built for distance, and that four-toed, no-dew-claw design that cuts drag and conserves energy on hour-long pursuits. Oversized, rounded ears rotate independently, picking up signals from kilometers away while dumping heat on the move. Hunts follow a proven script: steady pressure at roughly 10 kilometers per hour, then a coordinated close that can spike to 70 kilometers per hour, with pack mates cutting in front, blocking behind, and attacking from the sides. It is why, as reported by the Wildlife Conservation Society in 2024, their success rate often reaches 70 to 90%. Yet this mastery meets modern hazards: fences that break relay lines, snares, and dog-borne diseases that can erase a pack in a season. When predators attack, painted wolves answer with endurance and choreography, living proof that cooperation can be as lethal as claws. They are a symbol of unity under pressure and a reminder that the wild's greatest victories are won together. The fastest strike in nature comes with a ticking clock. When predators attack, this hunter has just 20 to 30 seconds before heat and heartbeat force a hard stop. Meet the cheetah, Acinonyx jubatus, of the Serengeti Mara grasslands, the sprint specialist of open country. Females roam solo, except when raising cubs for nearly 2 years. Males often run in brotherly coalitions that turn speed into strategy. Built like a living javelin, the cheetah wears a gold coat scattered with small black spots and 2 bold tear marks dropping from the eyes to the muzzle. Nature's anti-glare. Strips that sharpen focus on a sun-bleached plain. The skull is light and aerodynamic, jaws streamlined to save weight, while huge nasal passages feed an outsized heart and lungs with air at full throttle. Long, spring-loaded legs and a hyper-flexible spine work like a coiled bow. Each stride stretches and snaps back, doubling ground covered. Semi-retractable, almost fixed claws act like cleats, and rough paw pads grip like sandpaper for explosive traction. The tail, long, muscular, ringed, works as a counterbalance and rudder, flicking to steer high-speed zigzags when a gazelle feints. Free-floating shoulder blades and a reduced collarbone let the forelimbs swing wide, and light bones keep mass to a minimum. The result, 0 to roughly 96 kilometers per hour in about 3 seconds, and peak bursts reported at 110 to 120 kilometers per hour. Velocity with a fuse, perfected for the decisive strike. Morning is planning time on a termite mound. A cheetah scans the wind, tail tip ticking. The those black tear marks cutting the glare as it picks a path through tufts and shadows. The approach is everything. Downwind, low, each step a whisper, until the fuse is lit. Then the arrow flies. In about 3 seconds, it is near 96 kilometers per hour, spiking to 110 to 120 kilometers per hour. But the clock is brutal. 20 to 30 seconds before heat and heart say stop. The strike is surgical, a sweeping forepaw to trip a gazelle, then a throat hold that steals oxygen rather than wrestling for brute strength. Victory does not mean safety. Panting hard, body overheating, the cheetah drags the carcass toward cover and eats fast, because lions and hyenas are already on the wind. In open country, think the central Serengeti in the dry season, it can lose up to half its kills to thieves. So the day becomes a rhythm of shade and recovery, short sprints at dawn or dusk, and tactical retreats. Between hunts, it scent marks, rests belly down in the grass, and listens, always, for hoofbeats to chase and laughter in the distance to avoid. The cheetah's social life breaks the big cat mold. Females are solitary travelers, except when raising cubs, a marathon of nearly 2 years. They keep moving, stashing tiny, smoky, furred youngsters in new hideouts every few days, calling with high, bird-like chirps and teaching with patience, a gentle pin to practice ambush, a disabled fawn released and chased again. Males write a different story. Many form tight coalitions, often brothers, that flip vulnerability into leverage. Together they hold and patrol territories, scent-marking termite mounds, rubbing against acacias, and advertising to passing females. In a coalition, the team defends ground, attracts mates, and fends off rivals far better than any solo male. Hunts can even be cooperative, one partner pushing, another cutting the angle. Within the group, tensions are low. Grooming, purring, and close rests seal loyalty. Across the savannah, the real conflict is external. Lions and hyenas threaten cubs and steal kills, so mothers avoid them like wildfire, and coalitions stand their ground just long enough to keep their map intact. When predators attack in this world, even the ultimate sprinter survives by family, timing, and a talent for choosing the right fight. The cheetah is the grassland's precision editor, removing the inattentive, the injured, and the isolated. So gazelle and impala herds stay sharp and mobile. That pressure ripples outward. Mixed herds bunch tighter, feed in shorter bouts, and shift grazing patterns, creating a mosaic that benefits everything from insects to grazers that follow. What a cheetah cannot keep, others cash in, losing up to 50% of kills, especially on the open central Serengeti in the dry season, funnels energy to hyenas, lions, jackals, vultures, and the soil itself. Daylight hunting reduces overlap with nocturnal heavyweights, while adaptations stack the odds for a 20 to 30-second decision. Anti-glare tear marks, turbocharged lungs and heart, semi-retractable claws for grip, a flexible spine for huge strides, and a tail that steers like a rudder. Even when hundreds of thousands crowd riverbanks in early July, cheetahs work the flanks, targeting stragglers and avoiding crocodile chaos and kleptoparasites. The species is globally vulnerable, squeezed by habitat fragmentation, conflict, snares, and low genetic diversity. When predators attack, the cheetah answers with speed on a fuse, proof that supremacy can be measured in seconds. It embodies the spirit of calculated risk, a reminder that even the ultimate hunter lives by precision, timing, and the courage to sprint into uncertainty. When the chase ends, the sky takes over. In the hush after a kill, dark sails spiral down like a verdict. Meet the African vultures of the Serengeti Mara, white-backed ripples, and the imposing lappet-faced. They do not start the hunt, they finish the aftermath, arriving with perfect timing to turn danger into cleanliness. Built for patience and precision, vultures wear earth-toned plumage that blends with sun-baked grass, sooty browns, sandy buffs, a pale saddle on whitebacks, and the lappet-faced's stark, wrinkled pink mask that looks like authority-made flesh. Their most famous feature is practical, not pretty. A bare head and long, featherless neck that slip deep into carcasses without collecting grime, then bake sterile under the sun. Eyes are high-definition sensors. From kilometers away, they can read the language of motion, circling birds, a twitch of dust, the glint of exposed hide. Long fingered wings, spans pushing 2.3 to nearly 3 meters, lock on rising thermals, letting them cruise vast territories with barely a wing beat. At the business end, hooked beaks act like can openers for Africa's toughest packaging. The lappet-faced in particular can punch through hide that even lions hesitate to start. Their feet are not raptor talons but sturdy walking gear, perfect for crowd control around a carcass, while a fortified crop stores meat and a caustic stomach acid neutralizes pathogens that would fell almost any other animal. They wait until the dust and growls fade, then descend, silent, methodical, and absolutely essential. From a bare branch, they watch like magistrates, reading the grass for verdicts. African vultures spend their mornings riding thermals, spiraling into kettles that scan miles of savanna with almost no effort. They key off signals others miss. A dust plume, a sudden stillness in a herd, the way hyenas start to loiter. After a lion's rush and the growls fade, they do not dive straight in. Caution is policy. They circle, wait for the big jaws to step back, then glide down, wings wide, intent, quiet. The lappet-faced often lands first to punch a door through hide. White-backed and ripples flood in behind, heads vanishing into the red. Feeding is fast, focused, and surprisingly tidy. A hop shuffle around the carcass, quick jabs of the hooked bill, a hierarchy enforced by sidelong glare and wing spread. Between bouts, they sun with wings outstretched, baking their bare heads and disinfecting what the job demands they touch. If danger flares, they lighten the load with a defensive vomit, lift off, and return when it is safe. By afternoon, they are clean-up crews turned silhouettes again, riding warm air back to roosts before the night closes. They do not live as prides or packs, but their society is a loose web stitched by sightlines and timing. Most African vultures form monogamous pairs, nesting in colonies, white backs in tall trees, ripples on cliff ledges, lappet-faced more solitary in scattered treetops. One egg is the rule. Both parents incubate for nearly 2 months and feed the chick by regurgitation for many weeks after fledging. A long apprenticeship for a life lived on the wing. Away from nests, gatherings form and dissolve around thermals and carcasses. At the table, size sets rank. Lappet-faced dominate with sheer presence, while the more numerous white-backed and high-flying ripples press in, hissing, grunting, and mantle spreading to claim a slot. Cooperation is subtle but real. Information moves through the sky. One bird stoops, others read the angle and follow. Even hyenas watch those spirals like road signs to dinner. It is not affection that binds them so much as a shared profession, finishing what predators start, quickly, cleanly, and together enough to keep the plains from becoming a graveyard. They do not start the hunt, they close the case. Vultures arrive after predators attack and turn chaos into hygiene, stripping carcasses in hours and preventing the plains from becoming a disease factory. Caustic stomach acids neutralize nasties like anthrax and botulism. Bare heads and long featherless necks keep them clean even when they work deep inside rib cages. Hooked beaks, especially the lappet-faceds, open hides that even lions hesitate to pierce, creating access for smaller scavengers and speeding the nutrient cycle back to grass. With eyes tuned to spot trouble from kilometers away and vast fingered wings that surf thermals, they patrol immense ranges with almost no energy cost. Their sky-borne information network even guides other scavengers to the scene. Yet guardians can fall. Poisoning, power lines, and illegal trade have pushed many African vultures to endangered or critically endangered. In the stillness after the strike, those dark wings do not herald doom. They deliver a necessary mercy. Not icons of death, vultures are the quiet custodians who keep the living world from drowning in it. In a land built on speed and surprise, sometimes power wins by simply standing its ground. When predators attack, the savanna's firmest no arrives on 4 quiet pillars. Meet the African bush elephant of the Serengeti's western corridor, where the Grumeti and Balageti rivers thread through cracking grass. The largest land mammal on Earth, it fans ears shaped like the African continent and wields a trunk with more than 40,000 muscles, a living multi-tool. A full-grown bull can rise to 4 meters and top 7 tons, mass sculpted by evolution into calm authority. Those vast map-shaped ears are heat radiators, laced with a dense web of blood vessels. Each flap pumps warmth into the air, a built-in cooling system that makes noon survivable. The trunk is the masterpiece. Flexible, precise, and incredibly strong, able to suck up water, pluck single blades of grass, trumpet warnings, and spray a sheen of mud and water as a kind of sunscreen. Tusks, elongated incisors, dig for water, pry bark, and become white spears when something threatens a calf. Skin seems armor-thick, yet is finely sensitive. Its creases trap moisture and mud, extending that protective coat against sun and biting insects. Columnar legs end in cushioned pads that spread weight and deaden footfall, letting giants move with surprising stealth. Broad molars grind tough grasses to pulp, and when rivers pinch the land to narrow lifelines, the trunk doubles as a snorkel, turning a towering grazer into a steady, unhurried crosser of difficult water. Sunrise finds them already moving, the cracked western corridor under their feet and the Grumeti-Balageti rivers ahead. The last lifelines when the land goes brittle. They feed as they travel, sweeping trunks, pluck grass by the fistful, twist acacia branches, and rake bark from fallen limbs. Hours pass in a slow-motion harvest, up to a small mountain of plants each day, broken by shade, ear fanning, and dust baths that turn skin into mat armor. When noon bites, they stand quiet, heat slipping from those continent-shaped ears. Nature's built-in cooling system hard at work. At water, trunks become hoses and snorkels, sucking, spraying, and sometimes digging wells in sandy banks when the surface recedes. Calves practice every trick, from mud sunscreen to trumpet lessons. Travel resumes in the cooler hours, sometimes deep into night when the plains are gentler. And when predators test the edges, lion shadows measuring a calf, the tone changes. Adults bunch, calves slide to the center, and the air fills with infrasound rumbles you feel in your ribs. A head raises, a trunk lifts, and a gray wall advances. Most hunters listen to that answer and fade. Elephant society is a family business led by memory. At its heart is a matriarch, an experienced female who knows the dry season paths to those lifeline rivers and the safe crossings when crocodiles wait. Around her move daughters, sisters, aunties, and their calves, a tight unit that feeds, travels, and decides together. Calves are everyone's project. Alamothers babysit, lift, and discipline, while little trunks learn by imitation and endless, endearing mistakes. Communication is constant. Soft rumbles, touches, and seismic signals felt through cushioned feet, greetings that swell into group choruses when families reunite. Defense is choreographed without rehearsal. A protective circle, ears wide, tusks out, and the matriarch choosing when a mock charge becomes real. Young males peel away in their teens to roam alone or join loose bachelor groups, practicing sparring etiquette until maturity. Then comes musth, temporal glands streaming, patience thinned. When a bull's status and breeding chances are decided in low, pushing contests and rumbling negotiations. Through it all, relationships are the glue. Loyalty to the matriarch's wisdom, to calves at the center, and to the roots written in ancestral footsteps. As living bulldozers with a botanist's touch, African bush elephants remodel the western corridor. By pushing over trees and pruning acacias, they open sunlight to the ground and maintain the savanna woodland mosaic that antelope, zebras, and even lions depend on. Their dung is a fertilizer freight train, packed with seeds and microbes, spreading new life along every route to the Grumeti and Balajeti rivers. In drought, tusks and trunks dig wells that other animals crowd to, turning memory into water for an entire community. Adaptations make this possible. Vast map-shaped ears flush heat through dense blood vessels. Thick, creased skin holds cooling mud. Cushioned feet carry 7 tons with quiet precision, and that 40,000 muscle trunk works as hose, hand, and snorkel. Yet even giants face modern predators, poaching, fencing, and shrinking ranges, pressures that conservation must meet with the same resolve elephants show each time they form a wall around a calf. When predators attack, elephants answer with memory, muscle, and a circle of unbreakable calm. They are the savanna's steady heartbeat, reminders that true power protects more than itself. The most dangerous movement can be no movement at all. When predators attack in the Mara, death sometimes arrives as a patch of grass that refuses to sway. Meet the African leopard, Panthera pardus, the invisible one of the Masai Mara's riverine borders. Along the Mara, talek, and sand rivers. While the migration thunders by from July to October, this hunter waits in dappled shade, a ghost stitched into leaf light. Painted by woodland sun, a leopard's coat is a masterwork of camouflage, warm tawny gold washed with rosettes, open-centered like small flower petals that blur perfectly in the shifting dance of shadow and light. Unlike the cheetah's solid spots, these hollow rosettes scatter its outline so thoroughly that, under speckled foliage, the cat seems to dissolve. The body is compact and coiled, a study in useful strength, heavy forequarters, massive shoulders, and a thick neck that generate astonishing low-gear torque for sudden pounces and tree climbs. Males in the Mara often run 60 to 90 kilograms, females lighter, but every muscle is purpose-built. Retractable claws stay razor-sharp until the moment they bite bark or flesh. A long, ringed tail works as a tightrope balancer among acacia limbs. Broad, padded paws mute footfalls to a whisper, while large whiskers map space and wind-shifted scents in tight cover. The skull is robust, canines long and conical, delivering a bite made to clamp and carry. Night belongs to the leopard. Big, light-gathering eyes with a gleaming tapetum lucidum multiply moonlight. Keen ears sift rustles from silence. Free-floating shoulder blades lengthen reach. A semi-flexible spine helps coil and spring. Together, these traits let the leopard do what few big cats can: ambush in open woodland, then vanish upward, hoisting heavy kills into trees and out of the reach of hyenas and lions. Morning on the Mara looks gentle, soft green grass, taupe calves testing their legs, but the leopard's hunt begins with stillness. By day, it melts into the riverine borders of the Mara, talek, and sand rivers, tucked inside dappled shade where every rosette turns faint. From July to October, when the migration's thunder rolls past, the cat works the edges, game trails, termite mounds, and the fringe of thickets that let it move unseen. The approach is a choreography of silence, downwind, belly low, one careful step followed by a minute of absolute immobility. When predators attack in this style, the first movement is often the last thing the prey ever registers. A sudden, elastic surge, a forepaw hook to topple, jaws sealing the throat. Small to medium prey, impala, gazelle, warthog piglets, and unwary taupe young vanish without spectacle. If hyenas cackle too close, the leopard goes vertical, hauling the carcass into an acacia's arms and feeding for days between naps. Twilight and night are prime time. Midday is for cooling on a branch, scanning through leaves while flies fizz, and the plains pretend nothing is watching. Leopards in the Mara earn their nickname, the Invisible Ones, by living almost entirely alone. Territories are stitched along woodlands and river corridors. A male's range overlaps several females. Females keep smaller, prime parcels rich in cover. The message board is written in scent, sprayed urine, cheek rubs, and ground scrapes, and in sound, a deep, rasping saw, call that rolls through the trees after dark. Meetings are brief and transactional. During a short mating window, rivals avoid each other. Afterward, the silence returns. Motherhood is the long story. After 90 to 105 days gestation, a female tucks 2 or 3 cubs into a rock crack or dense thicket and becomes a ghost on a schedule, hunting, then slipping back to nurse. She shifts dens often, dodging lions, hyenas, and even baboons. And over 18 to 24 months, she teaches the curriculum that matters: how to freeze, how to read the wind, how to climb, and how to vanish. Siblings wrestle, trail behind her on moonlit patrols, and practice drags up low branches. In a landscape full of loud power, their relationships are whispers, thin overlaps, brief alliances, and a fierce, quiet devotion that forges one little family against many bigger threats. Along the green seasons of July to October, the leopard is the Masai Mara's quiet regulator, working the riverine borders of the Mara, talek, and sand where woodland meets grass. By removing the incautious and the very young, impala, gazelle, topi calves, warthog piglets, it sharpens herd vigilance and trims disease-prone individuals. Tree caching rewrites the scavenger script. Hoisted carcasses deny hyenas and lions a feast, while wind-blown scraps feed vultures, marabou, jackals, and a universe of insects below. Its ghost kit is purpose-built for border warfare. Rosette camouflage that melts into leaf light, night-keen eyes, a massive forequarter to drag kills aloft, and a diet flexible enough to weather feast and famine. It shares banks with hippos and keeps a respectful distance from crocodile water, traveling game paths between thicket and floodplain. Across Africa, habitat loss, snares, and conflict edge this master ambusher toward decline. When predators attack, the leopard is the held breath before the storm, precision wrapped in shadow. It embodies patience and quiet power, a reminder that the fiercest forces in nature do not always roar. Sometimes they simply choose the perfect moment to move. When the wind tells no tales, hunters become the story. At dawn on the Ndutu plains, one wrong step turns a thunder of hooves into sudden silence. Meet the African lion of the Ngorongoro crater and the surrounding Ndutu plains, apex predators operating in the world's largest intact caldera. Here, about 65 to 75 lions in roughly 8 prides share just 260 square kilometers, creating one of the highest lion densities ever recorded. Painted in sun-baked tawny, the lion is power sculpted into motion. Females are sleek and low-slung, athletes built for acceleration, while males wear shadowed crowns, manes that thicken with age and status, acting as both intimidation banner and a kind of built-in crash helmet during fights. Broad shoulders, a barreled chest, and a thick neck drive the final pounce. Paws padded like velvet let them ghost through grass until it is too late to run. Inside each paw, retractable claws stay razor keen for that split-second grapple, and 8-centimeter canines slide into place like living daggers. Golden eyes are tuned for twilight, rich in rods for superior night vision, while swiveling ears sift the savanna's whispers to locate a single misplaced hoofbeat. A whiskered muzzle maps the world. A rough, sandpaper tongue strips meat to the bone. Even the tail ends in a dark tuft, flicking like a semaphore to coordinate the charge. In a landscape where the wind can carry away a mistake, the lion is built to make sure mistakes happen only once. Hunting here is a choreography of patience. On the Ndutu plains, a team of lionesses begins tracking blue wildebeest at twilight, ghosting along the wind's good side, so their scent never reaches the herd. The cool, pre-dawn air keeps muscles fresh. The grass muffles each placed paw. They crawl low, spread wide, and let eye contact, tiny tail flicks, and the hush of experience do the talking. When the moment comes, silence snaps, an explosive rush, the herd erupts, hooves drum, dust blooms. Most escape, but confusion is a hunter's ally. One unfortunate animal is cut from the mass and pulled down with a muzzle clamp and the crushing weight of tawny bodies. After the chaos fades, the prize is dragged to cover. Cubs are summoned, order is negotiated, and a hard-won meal disappears rib by rib. Daylight brings the lion's other specialty, doing very little. They sprawl in crater shade, groom, digest, and save energy for the next honest attempt, because most hunts fail, even for apex predators. As evening cool returns, they rise, regroup, and read the wind again. In this caldera that feeds life year-round, their schedule is written in shadows. In the Ngorongoro crater, density turns pride life into tight-knit politics. Around 65 to 75 lions, spread across roughly 8 prides, share just 260 square kilometers. Each pride is a matriline, related females who raise cubs communally, synchronize births, and share milk, so that hungry mouths do not have to match the exact mother every minute. Lionesses are the core and the hunters. Coalitions of adult males, often brothers, hold tenure over the pride, defending cubs and territory with roars that roll for kilometers and with lives spent on the front line. Greetings are tender. Head rubs, chin wipes, a chorus of purr-like grunts that renew bonds before tough choices. At a kill, hierarchy shows. Dominant females feed first unless the resident males arrive. Then courtesy becomes caution. Young males disperse around 2 to 3 years old, forming their own coalition and testing neighboring rulers. Takeovers can be brutal, and cubs from the previous reign may not survive. Yet cooperation is the thread that holds it together. Coordinated hunts, shared vigilance, and the instinct to close ranks when danger or opportunity moves on the wind. In the Ngorongoro crater, 260 square kilometers of year-round grazing, lions sit at the system's control panel. As apex predators, they regulate large herbivores, culling the weak, the sick, and the unlucky, which keeps wildebeest, zebra, and buffalo populations in balance and the grasslands from being overrun. Each kill becomes a pulse of energy. Hyenas, jackals, vultures, and even soil microbes take their share, returning nutrients to the plain. High lion density here, around 65 to 75 individuals in roughly 8 prides, sharpens the entire community. Prey herds form living walls around calves and learn warning signals faster because the stakes are constant. Lions adapt by reading the wind, favoring twilight and pre-dawn when cool air hides their scent, and hunting cooperatively to tip the odds. Regionally, lions remain vulnerable, reminding us that even rulers can be at risk beyond protected rims. When predators attack here, it is not cruelty, it is calibration. The lion embodies the stern mercy of nature, a symbol of balance that reminds us every chase, every roar, keeps the savanna honest and alive. Some hunters strike with talons. This one ends fights with a lightning-fast kick. Meet the secretary bird, Sagittarius serpentarius, the long-legged raptor of East Africa's open savannas. A terrestrial specialist famed for dispatching venomous snakes, cobras, even puff adders. It throws kicks that land with up to 5 times its own body weight in under 15 milliseconds, often aimed straight at the head or neck. Picture an eagle riding on crane legs. Standing around 1.2 to 1.3 meters tall with a 2-meter wingspan, the secretary bird wears slate gray and white plumage, black flight feathers and shorts, and a pair of elegant tail streamers that trail like punctuation. A bare orange to yellow face sits beneath a spray of black quills behind the head, an old-world flourish that inspired the name. But the real story is below the waist. Extraordinarily long, scaly, horn-covered legs clad in tough keratin scutes, built to take impacts and deliver them back. Toes are blunt and widely splayed for stomping stability, not perching theatrics. Inside, long tendons and a hinge-like intertarsal joint act like a sprung hammer, letting the bird snap its foot down with surgical speed. Measured strikes that can stun, daze, or kill in a blink. Height keeps vital organs above a snake's strike zone. Armor-like scales, blunt fangs that do land. Broad wings give short, explosive lift to pounce, while thick lashes and a nictitating membrane shield the eyes when dust and danger fly. The result is a purpose-built ground raptor, tall enough to see trouble, fast enough to end it. Dawn is walking time. Secretary birds leave their roosts and drop to the grass, covering kilometers with that purposeful, high-stepping stride. Eyes scanning, toes probing, and the occasional drum roll of rapid stamps to flush whatever's hiding. They're diurnal specialists, most active in the cool morning and late afternoon, resting or preening through the noon furnace on a shaded perch. The menu is whatever the savannah serves. Snakes, lizards, rodents, hares, young birds, and swarms of big insects after rain or fire. When a snake shows, the show begins, feints, wing mantling for balance and a shield, then the signature strike, a kick that lands with up to 5 times the bird's body weight in less than 15 milliseconds, usually aimed at head or neck. Big serpents get dazed with repeated blows, pinned, then grabbed behind the skull with a precise beak jab. Small prey is stomped and swallowed on the spot. They'll shadow fresh burn scars where fleeing creatures are exposed, or patrol along game paths where movement betrays itself. Each step is a question. Each kick, an answer no snake wants to hear. These ground raptors run on partnership. Secretary birds form long-term monogamous pairs and hold spacious territories, often tens of square kilometers, patrolled on foot and defended with aerial displays, wing spreads, circling, and a rattling, croaking call you feel more than hear. Pairs often forage in loose tandem, 10 to 50 meters apart, flushing prey toward each other with the kind of non-verbal coordination that comes from years of walking the same lines. Nesting happens high in thorny acacias or flat-topped trees, a broad stick platform, relined and expanded season after season. A clutch of 1 to 3 eggs incubates for roughly 45 to 50 days, both parents sharing the sate and the night watch. Chicks are fed by regurgitation, shaded under those broad wings, and fledge at around 3 months. But they stick with their parents for weeks more, trailing the patrol and practicing the family martial art on dropped prey and unlucky lizards. Around the nest, they're fearless. Jackals, crows, even eagles get met with flared wings and that piston kick. Partnership, patience, and precision hold the household together. On the savanna's front line, the secretary bird is a specialist that keeps trouble in check. As a terrestrial raptor, it suppresses populations of venomous snakes, puff adders, and cobras included, along with rodents, hares, lizards, and bursts of big insects after rain or fire. That control ripples outward. Fewer ambush snakes around ground nesters and antelope nurseries. Fewer crop-raiding rodents near people. Its toolkit is purpose-built for this job. Scaly, horn-covered legs that deliver kicks with up to 5 times its body weight in under 15 milliseconds. Long, elevated limbs that keep vital organs above a snake's strike zone. Keratin armor that blunts fangs. And sharp vision to read the slightest grass twitch. Wing mantling steadies the body and shields the face during close combat, while an efficient, high-stepping gait lets it patrol vast territories without wasting energy. Dependent on open grasslands, it now faces shrinking habitat, fencing, and power line collisions, pressures that have pushed it toward endangered status. When predators attack, this bird answers with poise and precision, elegance turning into impact. The secretary bird embodies guardianship on long legs, a living reminder that courage can be calm and decisive. Hear that rising whoop and manic cackle. It is not laughter, it is a countdown. Meet the spotted hyena of the Serengeti and the Ndutu calving grounds, smaller than lions, louder than their legend, and led by formidable females. When thousands of wildebeest drop their calves in unison, these endurance hunters turn a nursery into a proving ground. Sun-faded tan, freckled with inky spots, the spotted hyena wears camouflage painted by grass and dust. Its silhouette tilts forward, massive shoulders and long forelegs tapering to shorter hindquarters, an athlete engineered for stamina and grappling rather than pretty posture. Females are the heavier, more muscular sex, ruling the clan with presence as much as teeth. A big, square head rides on a bull-thick neck. Dish-shaped ears sift the night for the tremble of a calf's call. Inside that skull, jaw muscles anchor to a high, bony crest, driving a bite around 4,500 newtons, strong enough to crack femurs and shatter spines. Cone-shaped premolars crush bone like dry twigs. A caustic stomach turns it to white chalk within hours. Non-retractable claws act like cleats, biting into dirt during long pursuits. Wide nasal passages, keen night vision, and a reflective eye layer make darkness an ally, while that black tufted tail flicks signals through tall grass. The pace looks lopsided, but do not be fooled. Hyenas can lope for kilometers at relentless speed, then surge the instant a target stumbles. In the season of newborn legs, this build turns patience into power. Daily life is a grind built for payoff. On the Serengeti and the Ndutu calving grounds, spotted hyenas work the edges of the wildebeest nursery like patient marathoners, not sprinters. They sift the wind, read the herd's rhythm, then slip in low to test for weakness. Newborn legs, a moment's separation, panic at the wrong time. A single hyena may blitz a calf, snapping at the hindquarters to topple it, but more often 3 to 5 peel off from the clan and start an endurance hunt. No flashy ambush here, just a tireless loping pursuit that turns minutes into miles until even a strong adult begins to falter. The soundtrack is a chorus of whoops and that eerie laugh, rallying partners and fraying nerves. When the moment comes, bone-crushing jaws, pushing up to 4,500 newtons, do the brutal, efficient work. And yet, not every attempt ends in a meal. A wildebeest mother can lower her head, slash with horns, and fold her calf back into a protective circle. Win or lose, hyenas are thorough consumers. Little remains but white scraped bone and the clean promise of fewer diseases left in the grass. Think military precision, run by queens. Spotted hyenas live in strict matriarchal clans that can number from as few as 6 to well over 90 individuals. Females are larger, tougher, and absolutely dominant. Rank passes from mother to daughter, setting the pecking order at carcasses and shaping who gets backup when things turn rough. This is not a single, lumbering mob, but a fission-fusion society. Subgroups form and dissolve through the day, with 3 to 5 breaking off to hunt, while others guard den sites or patrol boundaries. Power is practical, not ceremonial. High-ranking females feed first and decide when to press a chase or cut losses. Youngsters learn the rules fast, shadowing their mothers, memorizing voices and scents, and absorbing the discipline that keeps a big clan from tearing itself apart at crunch time. When predators attack, or when hyenas are the attackers, cooperation is their real weapon. Coordinated pressure on the chase, tight rank at the carcass, and a social ladder that keeps the machine running. In the Serengeti, spotted hyenas keep the system honest. Far from lazy scavengers, they hunt most of what they eat, about 60 to 95%, often peeling off in groups of 3 to 5 to run endurance chases that wear down even strong wildebeest. Their hardware is purpose-built, jaws delivering up to 4,500 newtons, bone-crushing teeth, and a stomach that finishes what the bite begins. By consuming almost entire carcasses, they strip the plains of rot, cut down disease sources, and fast-track nutrients back into the grass. Timing is another adaptation. They exploit the synchronized wildebeest birthing season, testing herds and culling the vulnerable, which shapes prey behavior and keeps populations in check. A strict matriarchy streamlines decisions under pressure, turning that eerie laugh into the rallying call of one of nature's most efficient cleanup crews. When predators attack, the hyena's grin is not cruelty, it is calibration. Misunderstood, yet essential, they embody the unsentimental precision that keeps the Serengeti alive and breathing. Some killers do not chase, they wait. In grass, the color of old straw, danger looks like nothing at all, until the ground itself strikes. This is the puff adder, Bitis arietans, of the Serengeti and much of sub-Saharan Africa, a notorious ambush predator whose warning is a deep, explosive hiss. The World Health Organization notes it as a leading cause of snakebite deaths in the region, largely because it trusts its camouflage so completely that people step too close before they ever see it. Stocky and low, the puff adder is power coiled into a sand-colored package. Its body is painted in jagged chevrons, browns, tans, and ash grays that mimic leaf litter, dust, and dappled shadow, a camouflage so convincing it can vanish by doing nothing. A broad, triangular head sits on a thick neck. Vertical pupils stare from gold-rimmed eyes, like slits cut in stone. Each scale is strongly keeled, scattering light and dulling any shine that might betray its outline. Hidden beneath that hooded look are long, hinged fangs that fold against the roof of the mouth, snapping forward in a lightning jab, measured in fractions of a second. When threatened, it lives up to its name, puffing up its body, flattening the neck, and blasting a hoarse hiss that says, "Last chance." Its venom is fiercely cytotoxic, designed to stop small mammals and birds fast, causing severe swelling, blistering, and tissue damage, effects that can cost a limb if untreated. Built for ambush, it prefers a rectilinear, caterpillar-like glide that leaves almost no sound, then waits, perfectly still, until the moment to turn stillness into impact. A puff adder's day is written in stillness. In the Serengeti's tawny grass, it chooses a narrow game trail or rodent run, aligns its patterned body with the ground's scribbles, and becomes a shadow with heartbeat. Tongue flicks sip scent from the air and deliver it to the Jacobson's organ, chemical radar for passing dinners like mice, gerbils, small birds, lizards, and frogs. Activity flexes with temperature. Bask a little in the cool morning, retreat when the sun turns harsh, hunt at dusk and into the night when heat softens and prey is bold. The strike is the whole point, short, explosive, and almost silent. Often it is hit and release. Venom goes in, the prey bolts, and the snake follows the exact flavor of its own toxin down the grass. Finding the body a minute later, small quarry may be held, large is tracked. After a big meal, movement slows to a barely there glide, digestion taking priority. When trouble gets too close, the adder inflates, flattens, and hisses like a punctured bellows, a final warning before the coil tightens. Its calm underfoot is why people often step within range. The snake's first strategy is invisibility, not aggression. Puff adders are solitary professionals. There are no clans or shared dens, just overlapping home ranges anchored to good ambush real estate. They meet with purpose in the breeding season, often after rains. Males follow pheromone breadcrumbs left by females and settle disputes in a wrestling match that looks like a slow-motion braid, bodies lifted, pushing and twisting until one male yields. Courtship is quiet contact. Copulation can last hours. Like many vipers, puff adders are viviparous. After months of gestation, a female gives birth to dozens of fully independent neonates. Tiny but already loaded with working fangs and venom. There is no parenting. The lesson plan is simple. Hide well, eat what fits, grow. Communication is minimalist. Scent trails to find mates, body posture, and that signature hiss for defense. Relationships with neighbors are mostly transactional. Mongooses, secretary birds, and honey badgers test their defenses. The adder replies with camouflage and caution. In a world of prides and packs, this snake proves that solitude, backed by design, can be a perfectly successful social strategy. As a mid-sized ambush predator, the puff adder quietly edits the savanna's roster of small mammals, birds, and lizards, keeping rodent numbers in check and, by extension, reducing crop damage and disease risks. Its toolkit is built for efficiency. Leaf litter camouflage, a sit-and-wait economy that saves energy, lightning strikes with long, hinged fangs, and cytotoxic venom that stops prey fast. Often it uses hit and release, then follows the exact signature of its own venom by scent. The trademark puff and hiss is a conflict avoidance broadcast. One last warning before escalation. Viviparity lets mothers deliver fully formed, independent young without needing nests. Though widespread, it is frequently persecuted and, as the World Health Organization notes, responsible for many snakebite deaths, mostly when its faith in camouflage leads people to step too close. In a world of noise and speed, the puff adder is stillness sharpened to a point. A reminder that the savannah's deadliest moments can begin with nothing more than silence and a breath. Respect the quiet, and it respects you back. When speed is the assassin, survival becomes choreography. When predators attack, this little antelope turns the savannah into a dance floor. Meet the Thompson's gazelle. Tommy, moving with the migration across the northern Serengeti into Kenya's Masai Mara as June's air grows clear and dry. Small but electric, it is the plains' nimblest dancer, the one that makes even cheetahs think twice. Painted by the grasslands themselves, a Thompson's gazelle wears tan along the back, a crisp black flank stripe, and a bright white belly and rump that flash like a signal flag when it springs away. Males carry lyre-shaped, strongly ringed horns. Females have shorter, slimmer versions, or sometimes none at all. Large, dark eyes sit high and wide, granting a panoramic watch on trouble, while satellite dish ears filter whispers from the wind. The frame is all economy, light, springy, and tendon-powered, built for sudden acceleration and tight, jaw-dropping pivots. Those small, sharp hooves bite into hardpan like track spikes, letting a Tommy snap 90-degree turns at full tilt and hit bursts approaching 90 kilometers per hour. Long, elastic tendons store and release energy like coiled springs. Deep chest and efficient lungs keep the engine cool in dry heat. The coat's straw gold tones blend perfectly with July's brittle grasses, and that bold side stripe breaks up the outline at a glance. Even the white rump patch has purpose, flashing to warn herd mates and, in a pinch, to bluff confidence at a sprinting cat. By late June, when the air turns clear and dry and the herds push north, Thompsons work the edges, the fringes and rear of the migration where visibility is better and bolt lanes stay open. Dawn is breakfast and reconnaissance, heads down for the shortest, freshest grass, nipped close after zebras and wildebeest have mowed the sward. Heads up every few bites to scan for that low, amber silhouette of a cheetah. Midday is shade and rumination, knees folded under, ears flicking at flies, always upwind if they can manage it. As temperatures soften, they feed again, tracking the greenest bites revealed by the big grazers. Predator drills are built into the routine. A Tommy may freeze, tail twitching, then explode into motion, stiff-legged stots to broadcast fitness, followed by zigzags so tight they seem to defy physics. Small, spike-like hooves punch grip into hardpan. Sudden pivots leave dust and doubt in a chaser's mouth. Alarm snorts ripple through the band, white rumps flash, and the herd flows like poured water to higher ground. When predators attack, this is survival by choreography. See first, signal fast. Sprint smarter than the cat can plan. Tommy's society is flexible by design. Females and young form loose, mobile bands that slip along the migration's margins, trading safety in numbers for room to sprint. Males sort themselves into two camps, bachelors roaming in amiable groups, and territorial rams that, in seasons of plenty, claim postage stamp patches of prime grass. Territory is advertised with scent, preorbital glands swiped on stems, dung middens kept neat, and defended with ritual more than blood. Rivals posture side on to show that bold flank stripe, clash horn to horn, then return to grazing as if they merely argued about table manners. Parenting is stealthy devotion. A newborn spends its first weeks hidden in the grass, flattening at the faintest alarm, while the mother returns silently to nurse several times a day. Once strong, fawns join small nurseries within the female band, gaining the many eyes advantage and learning the code of snorts, tail flicks, and stots that keep everyone alive. In a landscape where cheetahs, leopards, hyenas, and lions thrive, their relationships are simple and strategic, loyalty to visibility, space, and the quick decision shared. By late June, as the herds push into open, gently undulating country, Thompsons take their place as the savannah's finishers. Zebras knock down the coarse stems, wildebeest mow what is left, and Tommies clip the lawn to a tight green, triggering fresh regrowth that feeds everyone from hare to topee. Their neat pellets return nutrients quickly, and thousands of tiny spike-like hooves lightly aerate the soil as they dodge and pivot. They are sentinels too, sharp snorts, flashing white rumps, and stiff-legged stots ripple warnings through mixed herds, often foiling an ambush before it starts. As prey, they power cheetahs and leopards and shape their tactics, an evolutionary arms race measured in meters and milliseconds. Adaptations seal the deal: panoramic vision, wind-catching ears, cryptic tan coats with a bold flank stripe, elastic tendons for explosive acceleration, small sharp hooves for razor-tight turns, and a frugal water budget drawn from dew-fresh grass. Even their choice to travel on the fringes and rear of the migration is strategy. Maximum sight lines, maximum escape routes. When predators attack, the Thompson's gazelle answers with geometry, angles, feints, and a flash of white that turns death into distance. The dancer of the plains is a symbol of grace under pressure, a reminder that in the harshest arenas, elegance is a survival skill. The river holds its breath, then it bites back. No ripples, no warning, just an eruption of muscle and teeth from the mud-brown gloom. Meet the Nile crocodile, Crocodilus niloticus, ambush monarch of the Mara and Grumeti. Half submerged and almost invisible, It watches with eyes, ears, and nostrils perched like periscopes until a herd missteps and the death roll begins. Sculpted by deep time, the Nile crocodile wears olive bronze armor studded with bony osteoderms, natural chainmail that shrugs off hooves and teeth. Giants can top 5.5 meters and approach a ton, yet every line is built for stealth. A low torpedo body, a long ridged tail that works like a twin turbine, and webbed feet for silent adjustments before the launch. The skull is a vise, broad, flat, and packed with conical teeth designed to grip, not slice, so the infamous death roll can tear a carcass apart. Along the jawline, peppered sensory pits read ripples and heartbeats through water. Above, slit-like nostrils and ear openings close with valves, while a nictitating membrane slides over the eye like a diver's goggle. Inside, a four-chambered heart with a shunting system fuels long, low oxygen waits. A slow metabolism stretches breath holds to astonishing lengths. Even the stomach carries stone, gastroliths that act as ballast and may aid grinding. Ancient blueprint, modern perfection. A predator shaped to turn calm water into sudden catastrophe. On the Mara and Grumeti, a crocodile's day is a master class in patience. Dawn finds them hauled out on sandbars, armor warming, jaws agape to dump excess heat like a built-in radiator. By midday, the river turns to glass, and the crocs vanish. Eyes, ears, and nostrils held above the surface like periscopes. Everything else sunk in mud-brown stillness. A four-chambered heart and a shunting valve throttle oxygen use. At rest, they can hold under astonishingly long, up to 2 hours. They wait at known crossing points, where elephants test the water and wildebeest eventually commit. One pressure ripple, one misplaced step, and a torpedo of muscle erupts. The bite lands like a hydraulic clamp, measured at up to 95,000 newtons, followed by the infamous death roll, a whole body turned into a ripping auger. Big kills may be wedged under roots as a river larder. Between feasts, they take fish, birds, and carrion, and even swallow stones, gastroliths, for ballast and balance during sudden lunges. When predators attack on the banks, the crocodile is the final punctuation, the river's exclamation mark. Nile crocodiles are solitary strategists that tolerate company when the river is generous. Basking groups form on safe banks, but the rules are simple. Size is status. The biggest bodies hold the prime crossing eddies. Smaller crocs circle the margins and snatch what panic delivers. Communication is low and deep, bellows that rumble the bank, water slaps and posture, jaw gapes and tail arcs that settle arguments before teeth do. Come nesting season, the loner turns guardian. A female excavates a sandy bank, lays her clutch, and stands watch for roughly 3 months, rarely leaving, fending off monitor lizards and marauders. Temperature writes the family tree. Cooler nests produce more females, warmer ones more males. As hatching nears, peeping from the eggs summons her, she gently unearths the nest and ferries the squeaking young in her jaws to the shallows, where a guarded creche gathers. Around hippos they mind their manners. Around lions and hyenas they share only the aftermath. During the great crossings, it is not teamwork, just converging appetites. In this world, dominance, memory, and brief, fierce care are the bonds that matter. In the Mara Grumeti system, Nile crocodiles are the river's gatekeepers. By taking the exhausted, the injured, and the reckless during crossings, they shape migration routes and timings, and their kills fuel an entire cleanup crew: hyenas, vultures, marabou storks, catfish, recycling nutrients from bank to current and back to the floodplain. Their toolkit is ancient and exact. Olive armor plated with osteoderms, pressure-sensing pits that read ripples, periscope eyes, ears, and nostrils that seal tight, and a 4-chambered heart with a shunting valve that stretches breath holds to astonishing lengths, often up to 2 hours at rest. Conical teeth grip so the death roll can do the tearing. Gastroliths add ballast for explosive lunges. Even reproduction is tuned to the elements. Temperature sets sex in the nest, while vigilant mothers guard for months and ferry squeaking hatchlings to the shallows. 80 million years of refinement, unchanged because it works. When predators attack, the Nile crocodile answers with silence turned to shock. The river's calm, then its judgment. It embodies ancient patience and sudden power, a reminder that in wild places, the still surface is never the whole story. Africa's most dangerous yawn is not a welcome, it is a warning. When predators attack at the water's edge, this heavyweight does not flee. The river itself becomes its shield. Meet the common hippopotamus, Hippopotamus amphibius, lord of East Africa's Mara Talek and Grumeti rivers, backwaters, and oxbow pools. By day, it is a floating boulder with eyes. By night, a silent lawnmower ghosting through grasslands. Sculpted like a living tank, the hippo is the third largest land mammal. Mature males can top 3,000 kilograms, with a barrel torso, pillar legs, and skin the color of wet stone. That near hairless hide is sun-sensitive, so evolution handed it a chemical cloak, a reddish-pink secretion, often called blood sweat, that acts as ultraviolet screen, moisturizer, and antiseptic all in one. Eyes, ears, and nostrils sit high on the skull like a periscope array, letting the animal breathe and watch while almost entirely submerged. Valves clamp shut when it sinks. Despite the aquatic lifestyle, hippos do not truly swim. Dense bones make them beautifully unbuoyant, so they walk the riverbed in slow motion or bounce off the bottom in powerful bounds. Broad, semi-webbed toes grip mud like cleats. Then there is the business end, a jaw that opens a staggering 180 degrees and tusk-like canines that can reach half a meter, teeth not for chewing, but for fighting, threat yawning, and enforcing space on crowded banks. In a realm where water is life, the hippo is built to own the shoreline. Daylight is for water and diplomacy with the sun. Hippos spend the heat hours half submerged, skins slick with that pink blood-sweat sunscreen, mouths agape to dump heat, eyes and ears just above the surface like tiny radar dishes. They do not swim so much as moonwalk the riverbed, push off, glide, settle, repeat, rising every few minutes to breathe, sometimes even dozing and bobbing up on autopilot. Space is everything at the surface. A wide, theatrical yawn flashes tusks and says back up. Come dusk, river turns runway. Single file, they slip ashore and fan into the grasslands, following well-worn hippo highways for kilometers to crop lawns like living tractors, harvesting tens of kilograms through the night. On land, they are silent but not slow. Startle one between itself and water, and you will learn how fast 3 tons can move. At the bank, crocodiles get exactly as much respect as they give. A reckless croc menacing a calf may meet a tonnage escort out of the channel. When predators attack at the margins, lions sniffing for stragglers, the safest place is still the river's dark embrace. Hippo society is a water-based neighborhood with strict zoning laws. By day, a dominant bull holds a stretch of river or pool, surrounded by females, calves, and subordinate males that keep to the edges. He patrols by posture and perfume, dung showering with a helicoptering tail to paint the boundaries, wheeze honking a basso chorus that rolls down the banks. Most arguments end with yawns, splashes, and parallel swimming. When they do not, those half-meter canines write scars that last. Mating happens in deep water. Calves are born in shallows or on sandbanks, able to nurse underwater with ears and nostrils sealed. Mothers are fiercely protective, parking youngsters on their broad backs, forming loose creches with other females, and shouldering aside crocs or anything else that tests the bubble of safety. At night, the pod dissolves into individuals grazing alone, but before dawn they reconvene, greeting with nose-to-nose nudges and bubble bursts. When predators attack, hippos answer collectively. The pod becomes a wall, and the river becomes an ally. Hippos are the river's engineers and its nutrient couriers. By night, they mow hippo lawns across the grasslands. By day, they return those meals to the water as dung, fueling blooms of fish, invertebrates, and microbes. A subsidy that can supercharge food webs or, in harsh, dry seasons, tip pools into low oxygen stress. Their bulk carves channels and wallows that hold water for birds and reptiles. Their beaten hippo highways become travel routes for antelope and even people. Adaptations make the commute possible. Dense bones to walk the riverbed instead of swim. Periscope, eyes, ears, and nostrils with airtight valves, and that pink blood-sweat ultraviolet shield, an antiseptic for sun-sensitive skin. Classified as vulnerable, hippos face poaching for meat and ivory-like teeth, shrinking water, and conflict along crowded banks. When predators attack, the hippo turns from quiet grazer to immovable guardian, proving that power is not only about hunting, it is about holding a line. It embodies the river's will, calm until it is not. A reminder that in wild Africa, safety is something you make and defend. Born into a battlefield and standing within minutes, how do you outrun teeth when you are still learning your legs? In the Serengeti, survival starts before the milk has even cooled. Meet the blue wildebeest of the Serengeti, centered around Lake Ndutu. Here, a synchronized baby boom, hundreds of thousands of calves, turns open grass into a nursery under siege, and yet gives each newborn a fighting chance. Sculpted by open country and long journeys, the blue wildebeest wears a slate-gray coat brushed with darker vertical shadows, a black mane, and a shaggy beard that swings like a pendulum with every stride. Both males and females carry crescent-curved horns, not just ornaments, but sturdy tools for fending off trouble. Long, springy legs end in tough, cloven hooves that grip soft volcanic soils and carry the herd over endless miles. Wide-set eyes scan for movement on a 300-degree horizon, while keen ears and an ever-busy nose tune into the herd's chatter and danger signals. Calves are painted a warm, tawny brown, nature's starter kit for camouflage, helping them melt into sunlit grass. Then comes the real magic. Within 3 to 7 minutes of birth, those spindly legs find their rhythm. In just 15 minutes, a calf can walk and nurse. In a week, it can sprint past 30 kilometers per hour. It is survival, fast-tracked, an evolutionary sprint built for a landscape where hesitation has consequences. From late January to mid-March, the short grass plains around Lake Ndutu transform into a living maternity ward. In just the first 2 to 3 weeks of February, over 500,000 calves drop into the world almost in unison. That timing is not luck, it is strategy. When everyone is born together, predators like lions, cheetahs, and hyenas cannot single out every wobbling target. It is called predator saturation. Overwhelm the hunters, and more babies make it through the first fragile days. Mothers welcome their newborns into the herd's moving shield, bodies forming living walls that blur the edges of opportunity for prowling eyes. The bond snaps into place quickly. The calf memorizes mom's scent, shape, and voice, because getting the wrong mother in this crowd is a rookie mistake with real stakes. Nursing is frequent fuel for rapid growth, and after those first trembling steps, the pace never really slows. The herd grazes on fresh, mineral-rich green blades, sparked by seasonal rains. Calves learn to keep up, mothers stay hyper-alert, and the plains hum with the quiet drumbeat of life continuing, despite the constant pressure from the ultimate predators watching the horizon. In a crowd 1,000,000 strong, relationships are the compass. Blue wildebeest society in the Ndutu plains is built around mother-calf pairs that move as a loose, flowing matrix. Newborns imprint on mom's scent and voice within minutes, then tuck into a living shield of bodies, cows on the edges, calves in the calm center, just as you saw when the birthing wave begins. Communication is constant. Nasal gnu calls, snorts, and a ripple of body language that passes through the herd faster than wind. During the wet months, bulls stake out small, temporary territories, advertising with deep calls, scent marking, and ritualized head-tossing. Most contests end in bluster. Energy is for survival, not grudges. As the grass dries, territories dissolve, and the great caravan reforms. Many eyes scanning, many noses sampling the wind for rain. When predators test the line, mothers bunch tight, calves press inward, and the herd mills in a coordinated shuffle that confuses a hunter's aim. It is democracy by movement. No single leader, yet decisions emerge from thousands of tiny choices, all tuned to staying alive. Wildebeest are the grassland's pulse. By cropping short, protein-rich blades and moving on, they stimulate fresh growth, fertilize with nutrient-dense dung, and till the soil with 1,000,000 hooves. They travel with zebras in a handy partnership. Zebras trim the taller, tougher stems. Wildebeest follow to harvest the tender regrowth. Their bodies feed the system too. Calves that fall, adults taken at river crossings. Nothing is wasted, fueling hyenas, lions, crocodiles, vultures, and the microscopic life that returns nutrients to the roots. Their ultimate adaptation is timing, a synchronized baby boom that swamps predators, plus precocial calves that run within a week. Add endurance-built limbs, wide-angle vision, and a rain-chasing instinct, and you get a migrant perfectly engineered for risk. Threats remain: fences, roads, illegal hunting, harsher droughts. But thanks to protected corridors, the blue wildebeest is still listed as least concern, a keystone that keeps the Serengeti breathing. Against the teeth of the Serengeti, a calf that stands within minutes and runs within a week is more than prey. It is a promise defended by a mother's living shield and a million beating hearts moving as one. The wildebeest is a symbol of resilience, a reminder that even where predators rule, unity and timing can bend fate toward survival. Storm heat leans on the plains, dust hangs, the river sweats brown muscle, and the bank trembles under hooves. 100,000 hearts weigh a single decision. Across the water, the promise of grass. Between, silence shaped like jaws. The first wildebeest steps. 1, 2. The herd pours. Water detonates. Spray, horns, panic. A log is not a log. Nile crocodile. It rises with ancient patience, mouth opening like a gate to the past. Bite, roll. A calf vanishes in a bloom of bubbles. Another finds footing on a hidden stone and staggers on, lungs burning, eyes white with the mathematics of survival. On the far bank, lionesses flatten in the thorn, tails tick. They read the flow, pick the weak, then explode from shadow. One missteps in mud, another corrects, and a zebra kicks like a piston, buys 3 seconds for a friend. Hyenas ride the margins, ears up, futures already counted in their heads. Overhead, a fish eagle carves the air, and marabou storks stand like undertakers too polite to look away. Some make it. Many make it. Not all. The river keeps its tithe. The grassland pays it forward. Those who climb the far bank shake off the weight of water and fall into a trot that looks like relief. The pride eats. Crocodiles sink into silence. Vultures coil down to finish what was started. Nothing is wasted. Not here. And this is the true face of when predators attack, not villainy, equations. Heat against muscle, hunger against distance, timing against terror. In other corners of the world, the same laws whisper through different bodies. Orcas corralling a seal off a berg, wolves dividing wind and elk on snow, falcons turning gravity into a blade over a city roof. The methods change, the stakes do not. We have traveled with ambushers and sprinters, color speakers and night listeners, bone and feather and fin. What they share is discipline, waiting, reading, choosing the one moment that matters. Our part is to keep the stage intact, rivers connected, wetlands breathing, forests layered, seas unbroken. Back the rangers, respect the corridors, vote for clean water, and leave fewer hooks, nets, and snares in the world. If this journey moved you, tap subscribe, drop a like, and tell us in the comments which hunt stunned you most and where you are watching from. Share this with someone who knows the sound a heartbeat makes when a river begins to boil. The episode ends, the calculus continues. Night folds over the plains, and the first stars light 1,000 quiet decisions. In the dark, hunger and hope keep walking, and the wild writes its next line.